Remy, Sadie, good to see you both. Welcome to the show.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
No problem. Yeah, Sadie, we spoke last season, and it's interesting because I always feel like season one is always fresh for everyone because we've never seen these characters before on screen. So I'm wondering what it was like, kind of returning and mindset wise, playing this character for another season because there's a lot of growth, but there's still kind of a lot we want to learn from this character.
Go on, Sadie.
That was making me go first.
Yeah, I know.
No, I think it's such a gift to be able to return to a character you leave off of a show that you love so much, and all you're hoping for is that you'll get to come back to it. And so we're so grateful in that respect. And then to come back to a character, part of you is like, do I know how to do this again? And then the other part is like,
do you feel that way too?
Yeah, of course. And then the other half of me is like, there's a very, very, very thin veil between Alice and I just felt like it was, coming home, as cheesy as that might sound. But it's so great to be just on the set and with the cast, and all those things bring you right back to where we were in the end of season one. And one of the most exciting things is that we really pick up from exactly where we left off. And that was a really good reminder of like, okay, where did we leave people? Where were our heads at as characters in that moment? And so that was an exciting challenge to step into for season two.
Absolutely. Now, Andie, you can answer this in regards to the way home, because I feel like this depends on the project in a lot of ways, but maybe it's the same kind of mindset. But in a lot of ways, reading scripts and then actually going and filming are two separate journeys in a lot of ways from an acting and storytelling perspective. But I'm wondering if you kind of feel that way in regards to, do they feel like kind of two separate journeys, or does it feel like all kind of one big journey with all these steps? Because a lot can kind of change in between like scripts and actually going and filming. Like, I'm just curious about that mindset wise from a storytelling acting perspective.
Well, I would say for television, it's very different than if you do a movie. Because you do a movie, you read a script, there it is, that's it, and that's what you shoot. In television, I don't discover what we're going to be doing until very, very soon before we actually shoot it. So I'm learning what happens in this story a lot like the audience will learn it. Yep. It's a process. So it's almost like living it. I'm living it because I don't know what's going to happen. And I get it. And then I go, oh, that's it. Sometimes like they had this whole concept. I didn't know what the concept was behind the trouble between me and my daughter. What was the pinnacle moment that she decided she did not want to see me ever again? And I didn't find that out until we were doing it. Like, I knew it was going to happen. It was going to happen. It was going to happen. But I didn't know what it was until I got the script, this season. So it's like that. And a lot of times for me, it's interesting. I'll read something and I don't know what it's going to feel like until I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's just my process. My process, I can speculate. I can try to imagine, but I don't know. Plus I'm reacting to whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. So, it's a process. I don't know,
Is there, Sadie, are you conscious of the audience member like watching The Way Home while you're filming it? Or does that kind of happen afterwards? Because I feel like there's going to be some kind of moments that happen, going to read with Alice, be like, oh, wow, like I wonder how people are going to react to this. Or maybe that's stuff that happens after you wrap. Because I'm always interested in that as well. Of a show like this, where there's a lot of kind of big things that happen. So I'm wondering if you think about that while you're making it audience conscious.
I think, we were really in tune with the fan theories and things that people were guessing about where Jacob was, what happened to him, who's the White Witch, why, and all this stuff. But I think, when you do go to set to shoot the scenes, you really have to stay involved with what your scene is doing, the world that the writers and the creators have made. You're on this amazing set that looks exactly like a real house. It's very, it fools me every day. I really feel at home there. And so I think there's definitely things that I get excited to shoot because I know people are excited to get the answer to that question, or they'll kind of swoon over a certain moment between characters, or it's really intense. And so that I think it'll be really gratifying as an audience. But from an acting perspective, I feel like you have to try and keep those things out of your mind while you're shooting, because I think it could be really easy to start watching yourself from like, as if you were the camera, and that could be a bit distracting. So,
but I feel like sometimes it's going to happen without beyond your control, where there might be something like really crazy that happens. So you're like, you have to kind of like, it's going to happen regardless. Maybe you're going to think a little bit of the reactions, but I agree. There's kind of, you're in the zone and you're kind of doing your thing. You don't want to really think about that. Andy, I find it interesting. You look at The Way Home, you look at a film that you did recently, which I really love, called The Ever Zoe. There's this slice of life coming of age kind of component to all of these, where the self-reflection component is a big one, because during the pandemic, we were doing self-reflection because we had the time to do so. So I feel like these projects become a little bit relatable, but more relatable in that regard. I'm curious if you think of that at all, the self-reflection component of projects like The Way Home and The Ever Zoe, where like we really like people can really relate to these projects. That's something you think about a lot?
One of the lovely things I enjoy about working on a television show versus doing a movie is you live with a character.
Yep.
And I'm learning about who this character is as I'm taking this journey. And I'm very fortunate. We have a wonderful writing team. The creators and the writers, they're all women. Not that I have anything against men, but it's nice, for us as women to be supported by women. And they really get where I'm coming from, and they listen to me. Mm-hmm. I'm so thankful for that I have a voice and that they can hear me as they're developing, particularly the relationships. Last year, I didn't feel that Dell was ready, and I just couldn't go too fast. I feel like, and they would listen to me. So that's a beautiful thing about television, and particularly this show, because they're open to hearing how you feel. And that process has been, I'm very appreciative to them to allow me to have feelings for my character. That's nice.
Absolutely. Really well said. And season 2 of The Way Home is going to be premiering January 21st on Hallmark Channel. It was great to speak to both of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.